right. I am going to show you how to set up your Art Tutor grid on here. So what you are going to do, and I'm going to post a link to this. So if you don't have, I'm actually going to place the link for this grid tool on your important links in Unified Classroom. So if you don't exactly catch what this address is, it's okay. You'll be fine. So see, when I start typing Art Tutor Grid, this automatically comes up. It's called griddrawingtool.com, Grid Drawing Tool by Art Tutor. So you are going to click on there. And if you want to go by what this video is, you can do that on how to set up your picture on the grid. Now I'm gonna set up my picture on the grid with the picture that we use of the parrot so that this lines up with the practice that you guys have to do. So I'm going to click start. And next I am going to choose a file. I am going to choose that little parrot drawing that I have right there. Oh, there it is, beautiful. So I'm going to click next. Now, our parrot does not have a background. It's fine. I thought this would make things easier for you when drawing it. I wanted to choose something that was a little bit complex because if it's something that is too simple, then when you do your actual assignment, you might have trouble translating the skills that you learn onto something more difficult. So I'm going to click next. And then I do not want to rotate my picture. Sometimes if your picture was portrait oriented and it's meant to be landscape oriented, you have tools right here to rotate your image. My image is already set as it is. It's oriented correctly, so I am just going to click next. Then it also gives you the option to crop your image. Again, in my case, I don't need to crop my image. However, if you have a picture where maybe you have a picture where there's an entire room and you just want to focus on the one object in the room, you can crop it so that that's the only thing you see, and then it won't affect your drawing. The other things that are in the picture that you don't necessarily want won't be there because you can crop the image. All you do is actually you drag out a tool and then you just click crop image and that's how it crops it. If you drag out the tool and make the marquee where you've selected your item, but you do not click crop image, like if I do this, you'll see that it crops my image, it cut off the feet. I'm gonna reset it because I want it to be whole. And that's it. Next, I am going to click over here. And then it also lets you adjust the brightness and the contrast and the saturation of your image. The saturation is how bright you want those colors to be. The brightness is like how light you want it to be. And then the contrast is whether you want to have that really, I guess, stark contrast or really visible difference between the dark and the light tones in your picture. I don't think this picture needs any of that, so all I'm going to do is click next. Now it gives me a grid. So I have a few options for this. It allows you to select how many boxes wide you want your grid to be. So in my case, I'm going to count 5 boxes would be very little on my paper. So I am going to say maybe I want it to be 6 boxes. I'm going to want to keep the boxes squared. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think I'm looking at my paper and I think 6 boxes for this exercise will be okay. So the next thing I'm going to do, I want to keep it red so that it's easy to see. I think I maybe want to go down to 1 pixel. That is going to make the lines thinner. So over here where I can barely see that claw mark, keeping my lines thin is going to help me see that detail instead of focusing on the line that's sitting right on top of that. So once you have determined how many boxes wide you want your picture to be and the size and color of your grid, you are going to click Apply Grid. If you do not click Apply Grid, it will not change anything. So as you can see, now those red lines have changed in color and I can already see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 boxes wide. So that's what I'm going to do on my paper, which I will show you next. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is make sure I click download. When I click download, I'm going to call it Parrot Grid Picture. The reason why you want to download it is because if you don't have it on your computer, and this takes you more than one sitting, like you want to take a break or you use your computer for something else, you go to a different website, um, and this picture isn't available anymore, you'll have to do that whole process again of overlaying the grid. It's not going to save this as it is. So you want to make sure you have a downloaded picture that has the grid on it. And I'll show you what that looks like. Over here. Here it is. I have my picture with the grid. I can zoom out so I can see all of it, and you can see it cut off a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is strange. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll work with it. It still has the most important parts of the parrot. I'm going to see if I can get to download it again. So we will see. It should download with this last row. That is strange. If it doesn't, that's okay. Like if you have an issue with your picture and something isn't working, it is okay. Maybe the next thing I need to do, I'm going to try this, is make it 7 boxes wide so that it fits the rest of the image. You know what? I think I like the 7 boxes wide better. Now I'm going to download again. I'm going to call it the Parrot Grid Better. Now, you can keep playing around this depending on how many squares you want on your grid. What I will tell you is, do not make it like an exorbitant number of boxes, like 20. But the more boxes you have, the easier it is to do the things that are in each box because there is less things in there. So you are narrowing down on those details that are hard to get in the picture. Like here, I would love to break this down into even more boxes because there's so many details there on that claw. And I will try to show you how to do that later. So for now, I am going to say that I am done. And I will show you next how I do this on my paper.